Hello and welcome to Footy Judgment. We're back with counter views. Of course, I'm here. Savva is back and Kunle is here. We'll talk about Ivan Toney to Arsenal. Somehow it's a trending topic. We spoke about it yesterday. Should Arsenal get a striker to replace Jesus, or should you go for Solanke and strengthen somewhere else? Manchester City finally finding the right midfield. Nunes and Kovacic in the Club World Cup are playing well. Is that a measuring stick for the Premier League? We don't know, because I've been tagged on a tweet yesterday by one of our viewers here, MCC Protocol, saying, see, we're playing well now. Is there a measuring stick? And also, Liverpool, can they rely on Mohamed Salah? Which is the question I asked for the panel yesterday, to get them all the goals and to carry them to a Premier League title after the shambolic performance against Manchester United. But people, hit that like button if you're just here. Kunle, how are you doing, my man? Welcome. Thanks for being here.
Oh yeah, now my people, my people. It's your dark skinned man from the motherland. If you didn't know before, today you go understand. Always happy to be on Mo's show, and it's always a pleasure to see Savva, especially when we have some answers to get from
Savva,
him today.
welcome. Welcome back. How are you feeling? Everything is good. Savva, of course, from Football Heritage TV, Kunle, Tunnel TV Media. Both are in the description. But Savva, how are you feeling?
I'm all right, man. I've had a few weeks off, and I've just sorted a few things out personally. But I'm feeling good, and I'm looking forward to this because Kunle I feel like he thinks the season's finished. He thinks he's got some answers to things that haven't happened yet. So
No, not at all,
I'm
man.
looking
The
forward
season
to
is
this.
well
I'm
and
looking
truly
forward to
in
it.
full effect, mate. Full effect.
I'm looking forward to it.
I just remember the last time we were on stream, man. Last time we were on your channel,
Yes.
he made both of us feel very silly for suggesting that Man City could drop points against Liverpool at the Etihad. And since then, we've seen Man City drop points at the Etihad. And they could even lost that game. That's number one. Number two, he if you listen to Savva's predictions, you would think that there's no point in competing for the league title. Just hand it to Pep. Just hand it to Pep. It's cities, it's cities, it's cities. That's all I heard. It's cities, it's cities. I thought you were a City fan, Savva. That's what I thought. I literally thought you were a City fan because you gave nobody an element of hope, but you gave a little bit for Liverpool. Not Arsenal, the team that currently sit at the top of the league.
I don't know how that makes me a City fan for having a football prediction.
No. Can I ask the question here? Let me ask the question.
Definitely not.
Simply.
That's not all.
Looking at Man City now, I know in the beginning of the season, they won 6 games in a row. They looked very strong, composed. They looked like Kovacic slotted in right away, Guardiola and Doku and everything. But since then, game week 6, in the last 5 games, they won 1 game. It looks like Pep Guardiola is still trying to fix it. In the same time, we know that Pep Guardiola can find solution. He's the master of it. He has done it over the years. But we're looking at this Manchester City now, and it looks like Pep Guardiola is looking to find a solution within, or the fans are asking for the transfer market, which is normally City don't go to the transfer market. So how did you assess Man City over the past 5-6 games? Do you still have the same confidence about them winning the league, or is the door open for the likes of Arsenal and Liverpool now?
First of all, listen, my prediction of Man City winning the league doesn't mean that no one else can ever win it. I just don't think they will this season. Nothing's changed for me. Man City have had a bad moment. Yeah, Man City are not firing on all cylinders. But what I would say, Mo, is when you look at Man City, considering they've only won one of their last 6, they've only lost one of their last 6, they've won one of their last 6, no one's pulled away from them. This, for me, should be the worry for the rest of the league. Liverpool and Arsenal have not capitalised and pulled away from Man City when they're in their bad moment. When Man City have their good moment, again, I think that's what I don't change my prediction, Mo. You know me. I don't change my prediction based on 5 games, 10 games. My prediction since the beginning.
It's not about changing it. So
hang on, let me finish. My prediction since the beginning of the season, I've seen nothing this season that makes me change my mind. I still think Man City will do what Man City do in the second half of the season. And they're close enough to everyone. If we were sitting here now, do you know what? I remember before the Aston Villa Arsenal game, I thought to myself, do you know what? If Arsenal go to Aston Villa, win that game, put on a good show, and come away with those points, I think they're going to have proved me wrong. Only for me personally, proved me wrong. And I think, hang on, do you know what? They can go on. That game for me didn't pull away. Liverpool again at the weekend, they had the chance to pull away, didn't against Man United. And Man City quietly in the background, for me, I don't think they'll be too panicked. They've been in this position before. We can talk about it as fans. Fans can panic. Pep Guardiola is not going to panic. Their squad won't panic. They've been here before. They've done it before. And it's my opinion, I still think they will win this league. It's 5 points. 5 points to Man City is nothing.
Look. I never said that your prediction of Man City win the title is BS. Like at the end of the day, they've won the last 3 treble winners, best squad in the league, all that stuff. Of course, if you're telling me they're favourites, I'm not even ignoring that. But the way you were talking last time is like there's no chance for anyone, and that was my issue, and that's what I was challenging. I wasn't challenging the fact that you. Which is fine, but from what you said, Man City have been here before. They've never been on this points tally at this point in the season in the league, or in this position in a title race where they've won the league. They've never been in this position.
They've never been 5 points behind.
No, this points tally.
I was speaking to Nobbins on Monday. He said this is I think Nobbins or somebody else said this is the lowest point tally for Manchester City under Pep Guardiola, and they think that they are waiting for Kevin De Bruyne to come back to solve a problem. Pep Guardiola ain't panicking, okay, based on the history. However, Pep Guardiola keeps changing the midfield. He is trying to find the solution. Mm-hmm. I think what is serving Pep and why it's still for me, to be honest, until Arsenal will see the Liverpool game versus Arsenal in the next week, I still think Man City are favorites. However, I think the difference between Manchester City, Arsenal and Liverpool are smaller, even though maybe Man City can go on a run.
Mo, you interrupted me. I was responding to Savva. You interrupted
me.
You're gonna steal. You're gonna steal some of my nuggets. I can hear you stealing some of the things I was about.
Sorry. I actually thought you had this moment of silence, and I thought you're done. I'm sorry. Go ahead. He was silent for a bit, and I'm like, okay, he's done.
I just wanted I wanted the point to breathe for a little bit. I see the chat as well. I love the chat. They say, Arsenal fans are delusional. Look, I'm not coming on here saying that Arsenal are going to win the league title. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is why City shouldn't always get the benefit of the doubt in every scenario just because they've done it before. Because for the sheer fact they have done it before, come after a slow start, gone on to win the league, but they did it in a scenario where they had game changers, big game players, match winners, and they've not replaced those match winners this season. For example, Doku, he's not proven in the business end. He's not been proven. Nunes is not improving. Kovacic has been there, but he never really did anything with Chelsea in the business end anyway.
I like that. I like that. I like it. He's not proven. He's not proven. The one that is proven, you then go,
what league title did he win at? What league title did he win at Chelsea?
Has anyone league titles with Real Madrid?
Which league title did he win at Chelsea?
I'm not sure, but yeah, I don't know. But
and tell me one season at Real Madrid where he was like an important player for the team. He never won a league title where he was an important player in the team.
First of all, this is moving the goalposts because this isn't all about Mateo Kovacic, is it?
I said multiple players. I didn't just say Kovacic. You just decided to single out my Kovacic comment.
No. Hang on. Give me a chance.
But you didn't give me a chance to even finish the comment before you jumped in.
Let him finish.
You just jumped in on the Kovacic comment. I was nearly done. So they don't have these game changers like the Mahrez who you can rely on in the last 10 games of the season. Gundogan who's going to pull out a big goal for you. They've not replaced those game changers. They've replaced players, but not the people that understand what it takes to see them through. They've not replaced those two people in the squad. And that's why I think there's a higher chance of an upset this season where City don't win the league. I'm not saying it definitely happen, but there's definitely a higher chance with the way things are going right now with this squad.
Sure. I mean, first of all, let me just. If you're gonna talk about players, you've got to know what they've done. Kovacic has won 18 titles in his career, 18 trophies. So he's been there, seen it, done it, got over the line. So I
don't know what makes you believe that I don't know what he's done. I do, but I've never seen him in a title-winning side where he was an important part of the puzzle. But carry on.
But no one said he has to be the important part of the puzzle this season. This is the thing. Look, listen. At the end of the day,
in the context of my response, he has to be. In the context of my response,
in the context of your response, sure. But do you know what? Listen. At the end of the day, Man City are 5 points behind, right? whether they're as strong as last season or not, right? Man City are 5 points behind. Arsenal and Liverpool have missed, for me, they've missed opportunities during this bad run for City to pull clear. That, for me, is telling. Right now, Liverpool and Arsenal, for me, should be 3 points further ahead than they are of City right now. But they're not. They're not. That tells me, and listen, at the end of the season, we'll see. I remember having all these conversations last year. I was told I was wrong then, ended up being right. We'll see this year. I still think they're going to win the Premier League. I think that when we're talking about they don't have game changers, you've got to remember right now they've got no Erling Haaland, right, and no Kevin De Bruyne. That's two massive game changers. Two of the biggest game changers in world football are currently not available to Manchester City. When they get Kevin De Bruyne back, Erling Haaland back, and a fully fit, functional John Stones, we've got to remember that what he did last season, when he, like Mo said earlier in the show, he's been tinkering. He did this last year. He tinkered about, that didn't work, this didn't work. Everyone's saying exactly what Kunle's saying now last year, that they haven't got this again, and they let these players go in the window. And then when they finally stopped tinkering and he got it right, and he put that John Stones going into that kind of fake midfield role with Rodri, Man City went flying. And I think they will do that again. I'm not saying it will be a replica of last season's tactics. Pep Guardiola, who's the best coach in the world, will find the right tactic eventually. They will be the team that go on the run for me, that win 10, 15 games in a row. I don't think Liverpool and Arsenal have the know-how to get that over the line right now. I think Liverpool are a decent team. No, that's harsh. Liverpool are a good team. Right? Liverpool are a good team. I think we saw the other day, and from a lot of their performances, that I think that they're quite naive. I don't think they're anywhere near strong enough to win a title for me. Arsenal, for me, are a good team. I still don't think they've quite got enough to see it over the line. And that's just my opinion. We'll see. But I feel like I've gone back 12 months, and I feel like I'm having all the same conversations I had last year.
So my point about this is, I still haven't put Arsenal or Liverpool as favorites because of the know-how, and because I have seen this movie many times.
And rightly so.
Exactly. So yes, the simple point is, when I assess Man City on their own, I think Man City don't look the same. Mm-hmm. And I'm putting all my the favorites prediction, based on Pep Guardiola finding the right combination, and based on the fact that maybe Kevin De Bruyne is going to come back the same after hamstring injuries. And I'm looking at the history to predict the future. After a hamstring injury back to back since the Champions League final, players take time, and until this moment Kevin De Bruyne hasn't played a game. I am not sure if he's going to come back the same player. Some players, exactly. That's the point. Sure. But if we're going to put it on the no and how, City are still favorites.
For sure. And Mo, I'm saying that they're favorites.
I'm still saying logic, they're favorites. Right? This is just logic.
But I'm just saying that go on.
However, and I'm going to say exactly what me and you talked about. I think Arsenal and Liverpool have a chance this year, because this Man City team, even when Pep Guardiola is still tinkering, don't look the same for many reasons, and we mentioned them. One of them being the likes of Gundogan, back-to-back years, he is a leader. Manchester City against Crystal Palace, looking around, looking for a leader. The question would be, will Pep Guardiola find a leader? Maybe, right? Did he do it before? Did he fix a team before last year? Because they were scoring goals with Haaland last year. And a lot of people were saying it was papering over the cracks. When he found this box midfield thing in the second half of the season, they were flying. Will he find another solution this year? Will he find another way? Pep has done it before. That's it.
That's the point. I just think he will. For me, I think he will. And I think once we've seen it. I like the comment you made there, Mo. It's spot on. When you said, like, you're using the past to predict the future. But as football fans, when we're looking at history, when we're looking at know-how, experience, getting over the line, that's what you've got to look at. The difference is, I see people saying things like, oh, Savva hates Arsenal and Savva hates him. I don't hate any of these teams. I really, really don't. It's not about that. It's just, I look at Arsenal. They've had 1 year in a title race last year, and we saw what happened. I'm asking the question, have they got enough more? Have they got more than enough this year to change that to go one further? I don't know. We'll know if they do it this year. Cool. Then they
Can
do
you
it.
assess
Savva,
Arsenal now?
can I ask
Now
you a question?
can we move to
Hold on.
Arsenal after this question, Kunle?
Yeah.
Now let's
Can I
assess
ask you a question,
Arsenal
Savva?
and see that. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think Arsenal have hit their form this season yet?
No, I don't think Arsenal have hit
and we are 5 points clear of City, and we've not hit our form. So what happens when we hit our form? Can we go on a run?
Sure, but
You don't think we can go on a run if we can pick up points like this?
Sure, but
I've
never seen you do it. This is the difference. Again, this always comes across worse because I'm a Spurs fan, but it's not that. This could be any club, right? This could be any club. If you've got a team that have never done what people are saying they're going to do, you've got to see it to believe it. I've not seen Arsenal. We've seen Arsenal in this position. We've seen them falter. We've not seen Arsenal in this position and go on and win it and you go, fair enough. We've seen Man City in this position and we've seen them come back strong. My only point is this. After the 6 games Man City have just had, I think they'll be quietly confident looking at the table going, none of these teams have really capitalised. And I think that's fair to say. No one's really capitalised on City winning 1 in 6. Now, that for me would be a worry for the rest of the teams that when they do capitalise.
If we were playing well, I'd hear it. But we're not playing well and we're still picking up these W's and we're ahead of City. So that's why I'm still a little bit.
Sure, but I've never seen you get over the line. I've never seen you get over the line.
About this?
And neither of you.
Can I make a comment about this? I think the argument, Kunle, against Arsenal in this manner is you have done it one time. The question would be to you, was that a one-off? Because Manchester City and both Liverpool have done it years. Remember, Liverpool, when they went 1 point behind City twice, they were toe-to-toe with City. They lost it, we can say, on a referee's decision that go both ways. We can say on a game, on a mistake. But the Arsenal have done it once, Kunle, when they went into this magnificent 50 points in half a season. Now, the question to you, Kunle, are you confident that Arsenal can replicate what happened last year? Looking at it now, Arsenal, and I had this discussion with Jess yesterday from Armchair Gaffers, that I said, last year, Saka, Odegaard, Martinelli, I think all of them got 15 goals plus. I think Martinelli got 14. While on course now, your top scorer is Bukayo Saka with 5 goals. So the indications are you aren't playing the same brand of football as last year. The goals are spread around. You are more controlled. So where is your evidence that you will hit this form, that you will go on 10, 15 games run? Liverpool have the history to back them. Man City have the history to back them. How are you going to convince me that Arsenal will hit the form? Maybe this is it. Maybe this is the form. So as an Arsenal fan and someone who follow Arsenal, we all follow Arsenal. How would you convince someone like me who's a neutral to bet? I don't bet, but you have to convince me and the viewers, bet on Arsenal. We will hit the form. How would you convince us this?
To be honest, I don't know. I can just say what I see. What I see is so far, you asked the first question is, how do we know if last season wasn't a fluke? And that's a fair argument as well. But from what we're currently seeing so far this season, 17 games in, it doesn't look so far like last season was a fluke because we're still top of the league and we've not even hit form. What I do believe is that we can hit that form is because if rumors are true, we are looking for those reinforcements in January. And I said it last time that this Arsenal squad alone, I don't think can win the league. I said for me, what's more important in January is a box-to-box midfielder personally. I'm still not completely sold on this Kai Havertz thing. I'm bigging him up. He's had some good performances, scored some important goals recently, and I'm happy for him, happy for the team. We won games due to that. But I still don't think him as that left centre midfielder is the answer yet. Fully. So maybe with confidence, I might change my mind, but I do believe we need that central midfielder more than we do need a striker. And the way we're spreading the goals around and we're still able to score enough to be top of the league, it provides me with confidence because so many of our forwards have not really hit top gear yet, but yet we're still hitting numbers. And I believe come the second half of the season, we'll see some runs. Do I think we can go on a 10, 15 game winning run? You're not going to have clip me on any channel saying that we're definitely going to do something like that. 1000%.
Unless it's done. Yeah. Unless it's done.
Can I be encouraged from what I saw last season that we can come back to that form? Yeah, of course. Because if you can be encouraged that Liverpool can go toe to toe with City, even though they had a stinker of a season last season, why shouldn't I be encouraged that my team can replicate that form this season for the second half?
Yeah,
That's where I'm
100%.
at.
I wanna ask a question about this. This leads me to the Ivan Toney, because yesterday I think the director of football in Brentford said that Ivan Toney couldn't leave soon. And the question that is circulating lately, I'm gonna ask you, Kunle, this. Should Arsenal get Ivan Toney? And can Arsenal keep both Ivan Toney and Gabriel Jesus fit? And do you think an out and out striker will benefit Arsenal, or this goal spreading around is the best thing? But before you answer, there is about 330 of you here, guys. We aren't even on 100 likes. I know the conversation is fantastic, and you guys are happy that Kunle and Savva both together are back. So you are watching without hitting the like. So the like button is very important to us. It's how we get to more viewers and how the show goes to other people and we get more subscribers and how the channel grows. And by the way, yesterday evening while I was asleep, I hit 7K. So thank you for everybody that subscribed to the channel. Absolutely phenomenal. Thank you guys for all the support from everybody. So hit that like button. It's the only way we grow. And back to Kunle for the answer. Ivan Toney or Gabriel Jesus? And do you believe that you need an out-and-out striker? I'm going to ask the same question to Savva, but also I want Savva to tell me where does he think Arsenal will strengthen. So go ahead.
Look, but I always said that the issue at Arsenal is not Gabriel Jesus. I think the issue at Arsenal is Nketiah being our number 2 striker. I've always said that was the issue, because when we can't rely on Jesus because of maybe lack of goals or his fitness, Nketiah, as much as I think he's doing his best just isn't good enough for Arsenal, which is unfortunate. So until we change Jesus as our second striker option, I think it's going to be difficult for us. Also, with that being said, in terms of bringing a traditional number 9, I have to look at it as if Ivan Toney got the same amount of chances that Jesus and Eddie Nketiah are having, would he put more of them away than they've been? And my answer is yes to that question. That's number 1. And number 2, do I think not having a number 9 sometimes make us miss out on things? Of course, because there were certain periods in the game. I don't know if you watched the full 90 on the weekend where Martinelli was getting to the byline and he clearly just needed someone to take a risk and just make a run into the box, and no one was ever there. It happened so many times. But for example, an Ivan Toney, for example, definitely not a Dominic Solanke. I want him all the way away from my club. I don't want him linked to my club ever again. I beg, please.
Do you know
Solanke, go and stay in Bournemouth. I beg.
Do you know why Solanke? Do you know why Solanke is being suggested? Because of what you just said. That because you need another option. The problem with teams like Arsenal,
he's just
or
like
even Liverpool,
for me.
But so the problem with teams like Arsenal, which is something I asked in the beginning of the season, Man City can have a Julian Alvarez sitting on the bench. Even him is upset when he sits on the bench, because Arsenal haven't won the league yet. You cannot get an A1 player and tell him, you know what, you'll sit on the bench for Gabriel Jesus and you'll be a second option, or you'll be an option off the bench. And that's the thing that people say. Maybe Dominic Solanke will agree to sit on the bench and be an option. Do you think, Savva, that's true? Or do you think Arsenal should get an A1 striker and compete for the starting position?
Look, first of all, if we're going to have any talk about strikers, I'm going to remove Solanke from the conversation. As funny as I think it would be to see Arsenal sign Dominic Solanke, I'm not going to wish that on them, because there's more chance that my club would do something silly and buy Dominic Solanke. So I don't want him anywhere near. Dominic Solanke's being talked about because he's in good form. He's in a purple patch. And you know what football fans do and pundits do. Oh my God, this guy's now the best thing because he scored 8 in 16.
He'd fit in so well with those chances that Arsenal create. All that
exactly.
Rubbish. Nah, mate. Stay away from North London, mate.
When we're talking about a team like Arsenal in terms of bringing in another striker and people sitting on the bench, look, you've got to have options. You've got to have options. This is the thing. The one thing I would say about Arsenal is I know what the Arsenal 11 is going to be. I think that's fair to say, right? I know when fit, we know what the Arsenal 11 is going to be. And I think to win titles, to get over the line, I think you've got to have that element of surprise. I think you've got to have those options. And again, sorry, I know talking about City, but what City have been able to do in the last few years is get to a great big game on a Wednesday night and go, right, Grealish and Foden, you sit on the bench and you two play. And then the next game at the weekend, he swapped it again. Arsenal, for me, don't quite have that luxury. So I don't think it's a case of if you brought in Toney, for example, who I think Arsenal fans would want. If you brought in Toney, I don't think it's a Toney versus Jesus. What I think it allows them to do is have 100%. Toney and Jesus that can both play there. Jesus and Martinelli that can both do the thing from the left. Saka and, I don't know, Trossard or whatever, who can both do whatever from the right. Or, you know, I know Trossard mainly left. I think it's about options. And if you want to go and compete in not just the league, but if you want to compete that at the same time as the FA Cup and the League Cup and the Champions League, I think they need that. Arsenal need to have that. I don't want them to have that as a Spurs fan, but they need to have that. So I don't think the case of having just is it Jesus versus Toney? I think those two together would work really well and maybe give a kick up the arse to somebody like a Martinelli. You got Jesus starting.
Or even a Saka. Jesus can play on the right.
Right.
And play on the right very well. So we have options.
So listen, I you know, if Arsenal get Toney, I mean, listen, it's a big coup, especially after everything that's happened with Toney, the chairman coming out and saying, I think not word for word, but I think literally he said the fee is going to need to be massive for somebody to come in and get him. But if Arsenal go and get Toney and he slots in straight away, then all of a sudden I'm sitting there going, okay, this might change my feeling a little bit now. In some of those games where Arsenal don't quite finish their dinner, now I'm thinking they might be finishing their dinner. So listen, big summer, big January transfer window for, I think, both Arsenal and Man City. I think it's a big window for both. I don't think Liverpool will do a lot. I don't think they'll do a lot.
They need to do something.
I agree with you. I don't think they will. I think they've got a little bit more time on their side because of the overhaul that they've had. I think where Arsenal were last year and where City were, I think both of those two are more prone to winning the league.
Savva, don't you think with how they've started, Klopp has a little bit of a case to push the board to maybe do
I agree.
More.
I agree. I just don't think the Liverpool board will. But
I hear you.
Do you know what? It's the same thing, Kunle, right? And you know, every football fan, it's what I love. We're all biased, and all football fans, we can all sit there and go, you know, if we buy boom and boom, we can go from here to there. Whether that be relegation candidates staying up, mid-table to Europa League to Champions League, winning the league. But the problem is every club says the same thing, right? So every club's going to be going, hang on. Arsenal fans going, hang on. If we get this midfielder and we get Toney, we're winning the league. Man City are going to be sitting there going, if we get this out-and-out wide man to replace Mahrez, we can win the league. We'll see at the end of January who's done what. But it's a big window for Arsenal because I think you missed out last window. The last two windows. I think the last two windows, you could have done so much better to really stake your place as the better team.
I would have used Havertz money elsewhere, but that's for another
this
stream.
one, okay, you're against Arsenal fans and you have an agenda against Arsenal to say to criticize Kai Havertz. I've been labeled that for the last 3 days.
But I'm not you, bro. You have an agenda against Arsenal.
100% I do. AMT saying Rice will be key in Arsenal success this year. This guy, though, one of the best. I said it, and people didn't believe me. I said, as of now, I changed my opinion. I'm a believer now in Declan Rice. Like, the guy's the most consistent. I'm being serious. Like, listen, I can admit I was wrong. Like, Declan Rice has been the most consistent midfielder in the league, being a destroyer, building from the back, while having 2 yellow cards only. In comparison with the other guys, the likes of Rodri and the likes of Bissouma, who we compare Rice to as a 6, Bissouma already on his 2nd suspension. He will get 4 games. Rodri already... Like, as talented as the guy is, we cannot just have, like, if he's my player, I cannot have a starting 6 that gets suspended every some games. And some of them are 4 games or 3 games while going to AFCON as well. So the guy's first game will be in February if Mali goes far. We're
No,
in
that's
December.
wild. That is wild that he
We're
doesn't
in
come back to
December,
AFCON.
right? Like, just think about that. It's like, but his first game can be in February. So it can be, it's not only a record, you can be like the injured player for a long-term injury. But Declan Rice, though, this comment from AMT saying, can Declan Rice lead this team? It's not, he's not wearing the captain's armband, but he's actually doing a captain's work. On the pitch, the way I see him talking to the players, the way I see him directing everybody, which is the same as Diaz for Man City, by the way. In the last 2 years, Diaz wasn't the captain, but you can tell that Diaz was gathering the players around him for Man
Like
City.
Mo,
Declan
I
Rice,
think
though.
I think he's kind of taken on even a Xhaka role, because obviously we saw last season Xhaka was kind of the guy commanding a lot of stuff and a little bit of Zinchenko. But as that leadership left, Declan Rice slotted straight back in, and I think with the lack of Odegaard's form this season, he rightfully stood up, and you could tell the confidence of the boy. If you saw when they announced him, how confident he was to speak. You can, if you see the back behind the scenes footage and how much he's like putting himself about, trying to meet everyone, getting involved in everyone, and basically embedding himself into what is being an Arsenal player. He moves about like he's been a player for years, to be honest, like slotted in so effortlessly, and he is the reason why we're first this season. I'm confident to say if he wasn't there, we'd be like in 7th or 8th, and that's because I believe our midfield has been upside down this season, and he's made it look like it works. But for me, it still doesn't work. Although on the weekend, that's probably the best I've seen that midfield work together. But that's only one game. Let's see if we can keep up at Anfield and so on and so on. But Declan Rice, he's definitely the game changer. 105 million looks like a steal right now. I was one of the people complaining 105 million, that's freaking crazy. But you won't hear me say anything like that again. I beg. It was a steal. We got him on the cheap, and he's keeps proving it week in, week out. The worst I've seen him play was a 7 out of 10, and I think that was the Aston Villa game, where I do believe the rest of the team let him down. But that's for another day.
Savva, like Declan Rice, can he really be a reason? Like we say, for Man City have too many players, but can Declan Rice be like with Saka and Martinelli and Odegaard and Saliba? Can he be the one in the midfield that connects the offense to the defense and can be a reason for them to go on a run or play a very, very good football? Of course, remember, he's just started. This is just the start of Declan Rice's career at Arsenal.
Yeah, look, I think what Arsenal bought with Declan Rice is a ready-made player. And I think that gets overlooked. Declan Rice was fantastic for West Ham for years. Obviously, when you play for, no disrespect to West Ham, when you play for lower teams, sometimes players don't get the credit they deserve. What I love about Declan Rice, do I watch Declan Rice and go, oh my God, you're amazing? No. Do I watch Declan Rice and go, wow, you're the consummate professional who delivers every game? Yes, I do. Every time I watch Declan Rice, he is one of, if not the best performer for Arsenal. I'm not saying every game is the man of the match, but he's always in and around probably the top 2 or 3.
100%, yeah.
He's calm. He's consistent. And this is the thing. People always hear me talking about consistency in football. Consistency is everything. You get players that get gassed up, that get overhyped because they have a good 10 games. They have a good season. Consistency of doing it game in, year in, year out is what separates the top players for me from the sometimes players. I like to call players sometimes players, right? Declan Rice is an always player. Declan Rice is a top midfielder. And when Arsenal bought him, I actually went on and people, all like Spurs fans, especially in my chat, were saying, oh my God, 105 million, what a waste. Well, the one thing I said about Declan Rice then is look past the money in one season. If you take 105 million across 1 year, you go, wow, that's expensive. If you look at the fact that this guy realistically now should be in this Arsenal midfield for 6, 7, 8 seasons, probably going to be your next captain, and you put that 105 million across that 6, 7 years, and what he's going to give you, leadership, hardly, I don't think I ever see him miss a game. For me, he's the real captain. I think the 105 million doesn't matter. You've got yourself a ready-made, Premiership-proven, England international-proven midfielder, and I think he's he's one of the best midfielders in the Premier League for consistency. Definitely, yeah. I've got nothing
player
bad.
of the season so far, man. Player of the season so far.
I mean, look, there's been a few people
for the league. Yes, probably as
for the league, man. For the league.
I mean, look,
I'd like to hear the options. Vicario is close, to be fair. Actually,
there's Mohamed Salah as well, like having 18 GA in 17 games is.
I know, but you know what? The disappointing thing when I watch Mo Salah, like I tell you what. Listen, I love Mo Salah. What Mo Salah's done in the Premier League has been absolutely brilliant. But he's another one of them. When he's off, he's off. Like I fought against Man United the other day. He looked like he couldn't control a football. He looked like he couldn't pass a football. Too many games like that for me are the difference between Mo Salah being a great and being a very good player. That's just me, but I don't want to get into Mo Salah. Look, Declan Rice definitely his name's in the hat at the moment. I think he's a very, very good midfielder. Professional. I don't care all this talk about 6s and 8s, and he's just a top midfielder. And I think that gets lost. He's a top midfielder who does his job very, very well. Let's not talk about my man Basuma because he is so frustrating. He's amazing
though. He's amazing on the ball. He's like in the stats per 90. He surpasses a lot of midfielders in the world. But I'm gonna have the same thing for Rodri. You can be the best player in the world, but if you're not available, there is no point of us praising you. If you're gonna miss a game and then 3 games and then 4 games, I think that's too much. Already he's missing his 6th game in 17, like after 17 games, he's gonna miss 4 games. I think that's too much for me.
It's crazy, but I do think that the second Premier League title we won, Vieira got sent off twice in the first 3 games or something like that. Missed 6 games through suspension, and we still won the league. So I hear it. But like with these type of number 6s, there's gonna be situations like this at time. But it's not the high risk, high reward. Bro. I hear you.
This is not 1997. He's silly.
It was 2001. By the way,
that tackle was silly. That tackle he did.
And you don't have an agenda against Arsenal.
But do you know what the thing is, Mo? There will be an occasion. There will be an occasion where it happens to Rice. Right, there will be an occasion where it happens to these midfielders where they get caught. For me. I've said for 3 years now, I think Rodri's the best player in the Premier League in terms of pound for pound. I think the guy is the complete midfielder. Declan Rice, though, I think keep doing what he's doing, right? I'm not saying he's not been doing it for West Ham, but keep doing what you're doing at that top of the table. Take your team to titles, take your team to trophies. Bear in mind, I don't want to see that as a Spurs fan, but I'm talking from Spurs hat off. And then be in that conversation. For me, Rodri, though, is just... He is the reincarnation of Busquets for me, but with a tiny bit more. I think he's a top footballer, is Rodri. Top footballer.
Can I ask a cheeky question, Savva? Do you think Declan Rice made a mistake going to Arsenal? Because if you went to City, you're guaranteed trophies. You go to Arsenal, you can be a bowler. Like Harry Kane was one of the best strikers the country has ever seen. But
bro, just ask the question, bro. You don't need all these extra filters. Let him answer the question there, man.
Do I think he made a mistake? Well, first look, we've had this debate before. First and foremost, Man City didn't offer enough money to get him, and he wanted to go to Arsenal. Did he make a mistake going to Arsenal? I mean, I don't know what does that mean. Like we're 17 games into a season. If hypothetical, if we're 3 years down the line, if it's now 2026 and Arsenal have won nothing, I'm not saying that's going to happen before the Arsenal fans jump on me. If we're 3 years down the line and this Arsenal team have won nothing, then you might turn around and
then we can answer that
maybe
question,
I should. Basically. But right now, after 17 games, even after 1 year, can you say anyone made a mistake? Declan Rice is 24.
Yeah.
No, if Declan Rice was 30, 31 making that move and Arsenal weren't winning anything, maybe. But I don't
Mo knows
think so.
what he's doing, Savva. Leave him. He knows what he's doing.
I know.
Mo knows what he's doing.
I am genuinely...
Bro, you've got an agenda against Arsenal. This is the facts. The facts are the facts.
I am the one who defends Arteta all the time.
No. You're an Arteta stan, but you hate the club Arsenal. Okay, we'll do that. Is that what we're doing?
I don't hate any club, to be honest.
We can do that.
Arsenal or Liverpool.
No, sorry, you have an agenda against Arsenal.
Do you think he regrets it, Mo? Let's take it back on you.
Yeah, because you asked the question.
He doesn't regret it, but I said in the beginning, if you're gonna go to Arsenal, you're gonna go to City. I think I would be choosing Manchester City. Simple as that.
Why is that?
I'll tell you
Wait.
why.
What's your reason?
Because the thing about it is that when you go to
So
Manchester,
it's the easy option, right? So that's what you'd pick.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's much easier. Like, yeah. I'm not saying anything that it's much easier option, especially if he was gonna go to City and play in the midfield. While if he was gonna go to City and sit on the bench, knowing that he's gonna be a 6, a backup to Rodri, he didn't make a mistake, or it wasn't an easy choice. But if you're asking a player, would you rather go play under Pep Guardiola and guarantee that the board will back you? You'll have Pep Guardiola, you will challenge for the Champions League, you'll challenge for the league as long as Pep is here, or go to Arsenal and take a risk? What's for you, Kunle? And I know it's hard for you to answer it. What was the easier choice?
For me, it all depends on what type of footballer you want to be remembered by. Do you get me? Like, if he goes to City, there's a lot less chance of him ending his career as a legend than if he goes to Arsenal and does it. Because as you said, it's easy. They got the oil money. They can get any player they want. They can offer all the money they want, and they're already currently on the road of success.
Hang on.
Wait. These are the facts. These are the facts, bro.
I love this.
But after we've been so long, no, the reality is if we've been so like, look, all the Liverpool players that won Premier League in 30 years are now legends immediately, bro. Immediately. It's not. They don't have to win back to back.
For their club,
being a legend at the club because you've won one title in 20 years, 25 years is a bit different to being like we're talking about Man City, Arsenal here. If we're gonna look at when John Stones leaves, let's say John Stones leaves Man City this year. I'm not saying he is. If he did, lots of hypotheticals come out of my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
John Stones, would he go down as a legend for Man City for winning 4 or 5 league titles, Champions Leagues, FA Cups, League Cup? Why not?
No.
Why wouldn't he be a legend?
I can't see City fans parading him up like a legend. If they are in the comment section and I'm wrong, no problem. But I think
he wouldn't be a legend for multiple trophies, but Declan Rice, if he won one trophy with Arsenal, would become a legend. That doesn't quite work.
No, I never said that just by winning one he'd be a legend. I said the higher chance from bringing a club back to success after 20 years out of it and then going on. I never said that was. I'm not saying that's the only trophy he's going to win by the end of his career, but starts a success train after 20 years out. Then I think there's a higher chance of him being renowned as a legend. The guy that helped bring Arsenal back, whereas other than the guy that continued the train of City going, I think the narrative sounds a little bit different.
Can I answer Savva with a simple thing? It's not about John Stones. You mentioned John Stones in particular, but when you go to a successful club like Manchester City, with a lot of elements around you that are successful and you have the best coach in the world, if you're part of a machine, you might not go down as a legend. But however, if you're a Haaland who broke the record, if you're someone like Kevin De Bruyne, who's fantastically one of the best midfielders, you go down in the club as a legend. If you're Aguero and you have that particular moment of 2012, that's not different. Declan Rice going to Arsenal, he might be for the fans, because you become a legend by the fans praising you, not by the club or winning. He can be.
Especially imagine the season you came, we won the league, so naturally that's gonna bring
Declan
more.
Rice,
I'm not doubting it.
Yeah, that's the point, Savva. It's not saying
Mo,
that.
I get the point.
Yeah.
Mo, I get the point. I suppose this comes down to, it's like the world-class conversation. It comes down to each individual's interpretation of what a legend is, of what a world-class. You know what I mean? It's an interpretation. Look. I think I'll go back to my original point on all of this. Right now, I don't think anyone can I don't think anyone in the world can answer, does Declan Rice regret going to Arsenal? Right? In 3 or 4 years, we will have an answer. If in 3 or 4 years, Arsenal have won a title, a Champions League, an FA Cup, you turn around and go, there you go, what a justification. If we're sitting there in 3 or 4 years and Declan Rice is 27, 28, and he's not won anything.
Carabao Cup, then
Right. Then all of a sudden he might be sitting there going, well, I don't regret it from the point of view that I've played for one of the biggest clubs in the country, but I regret it that I haven't got a medal haul like some of the City lads. But you could say that about any player going anywhere other than Man City in the last 6-7 years. No one's got the medal haul of these players, right?
So the last question about it, do you think Arsenal within the next 3-4 years will win trophies? Do you think? You can't predict the future. Nobody can.
Yeah, I mean, it's really difficult to say. I mean, why not? Why not? What level of trophy? I don't know. Why not? If they continue on the part, listen, Arsenal. Everyone always thinks I hate them from the point of view that they're my rivals. But I don't hate. I think it's really important. Like people say to me, "Do you want Arsenal to get relegated?" No, I like the rivalry. I want them there. They need to be there. Like when Celtic and Rangers weren't together, it's not the same, right? And I think Arsenal are going on a good path. I think they've brought in a lot of good players. You can see what they're trying to do at the football club. To continue that is hard. And to get over the line, I keep saying it. I'm not knocking. If Arsenal win the league this year, right, Kunle, I turn around as a football fan and go, fair enough, I was wrong. I thought City would win it. Fair play. I don't go, oh, but. If you win the league after 38
Come
games,
to your house if that happens.
well, mate, come. Listen, if Arsenal win the league after 38 games, you know what? They deserve it. Whoever wins the league after 38 games deserves to win the league. So the key thing will be, if Arsenal don't win it this year, can they continue again to keep adding the players, to keep pushing forward? I said this last year. I'll say this year. I don't think it's impossible for them to win the league. I just don't think they will. And I do think they've got trophies in them. I do think they've got trophies in them in the next 3 or 4 years. Yes, I do.
I want to talk about a little bit, just a simple thing about the Champions League. It's a tricky thing for Arsenal because for some reason I created this rivalry or whatever thing between Inter and Arsenal because I said I wanted to go Arsenal logically.
For some reason, yeah.
I have my reasons to say I wanted Arsenal because I wanted to avoid Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Manchester City, and I wanted to avoid Atletico Madrid. And I said Barcelona, maybe Arsenal, and Dortmund. And people said that I'm disrespecting Arsenal. Literally, I've been told you're disrespecting Arsenal because I wanted to avoid the others. And because Arsenal, I don't want to face Arsenal, but Arsenal and Barcelona.
You'd rather face Arsenal than Dortmund, right? Basically, that's what you're trying to say.
I said Dortmund first. I want to face Dortmund. And then it's Arsenal and maybe Barcelona. And then I don't want to face Atletico Madrid because I don't want to go to play Diego Simeone and the Metropolitano. I don't want to do that. And I don't want to play Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, and Man City. And people said, you're disrespecting Arsenal. Do you think Arsenal in the Champions League now have a chance of winning it or go far? And do you think it can compete with the likes of Bayern Munich and Real Madrid and all this stuff? Because I've seen a lot of talk on Twitter about, and even on shows, about the chances of Arsenal winning the Champions League or going far in the Champions League.
Look. I don't believe. I do believe we can go far. Do I think we can win the Champions League? I think after being out so long, I think it's unrealistic. But if you're asking me the teams that I'm scared of, I'd only say City, Bayern, and Real Madrid. If we can avoid them up until the last stages, then we have a chance to maybe make it to the final. And then it's every man for himself. But any other team, I'm pretty confident that we can go toe-to-toe with any of the others. I just believe the football heritage of the other three that I listed can sometimes be too intimidating for these boys back in for their first time. So, but everyone else, it's up for grabs, I think.
Do you believe in this heritage thing, Savva, or it's only about the starting 11 and how strong you are? And because that's what Arsenal fans say. We have Saka, we have Odegaard, we have Rice, we have Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus. Yeah. We can compete with the others, and I'm not afraid of anybody. I'm like, let's look at Manchester City.
Bro, can we just go? Let Savva respond to what I said. Don't let him just respond to the masses, Mo. I see what you're trying to do here.
I'll respond to both. I'll respond to both. I'll respond to both.
And you don't have Mo, gender is at work.
Can I answer the first question of do I believe in heritage when the name of my channel is Football Heritage TV? So yeah, just a little bit. Look, let me respond to what Kunle said, and then I'll go back to what you said. I think Kunle's spot on. I genuinely feel, you didn't say this, Kunle, but I genuinely don't feel that there are as many powerhouses in world football anymore. I don't look at many teams now across, not from a Spurs perspective, but from a powerhouse perspective. I don't look at many of these clubs and go, wow, you're frightening. I genuinely don't. Barca are not what they were. I don't even think Real Madrid are. Not saying Real Madrid can't win it, but I don't look at them and go, oh, you're scary, right? I think Real Madrid, you said Real Madrid, Man City, and who was the other one you said?
Bayern Munich.
Bayern Munich, yeah.
The reason I think these three will always be talked about as the favourites is, can you beat any of them, not Arsenal, can anyone beat any of them in a one-off game?
Yes.
Yes. Doing it over 2 legs is a completely different story. Going to the Bernabeu and beating Real Madrid. Man City, yeah, one-off game. People are fancy. You can have a one-off game with Man City. Over 2 legs, you don't want to play Man City. Bayern Munich, you don't want to be going to a second leg to the Allianz, right? Knowing that you need to win.
Flashbacks about that stadium.
Right. So for me, can Arsenal go far in it? I don't see any reason why they can't go far. Do I think they'll win it? I don't have them down as a favourite, but you know what? You never know. But at some point, they're going to have to knock out one of the powerhouses, whether it be the final, whether it be over 2 legs in a semi or a quarter. They're going to have to knock out one of the big boys. That's where we'll see what they're made of, because it's all right doing it at the Emirates. It's all right. You know what I mean? It's all right putting on the show there. When you go to one of those big grounds, the same as like when no one wants to go to Anfield on a European night, right? Because some of these grounds do have that football heritage. Please subscribe. Some of them do have that football heritage, and those bigger clubs just kind of find a way. But I do think, Mo, that European football is weaker than it's been for many, many years, if I'm being brutally honest.
Yeah. I believe so too. I believe so. It was very, very difficult back in the days to win the Champions League. That's why always the Champions League would be the pinnacle. But moving on from Arsenal to Liverpool a little bit, and in my opinion, people are overreacting to the Man United game. Like Man City have played bad games as well. I think Man City dropping points against Crystal Palace, being 2-0 up at home, is worse than actually drawing against a low block Man United that came for one job only. I think people are overreacting. However, there are signs that the forward line aren't scoring for Liverpool, and the midfield aren't playing the same. And do we believe Liverpool will fall off? Because people are saying, if we don't sign that, if we don't get this, look at us without Matip. Mohamed Salah is the only one scoring. Mohamed Salah didn't score only in 3 games out of 17 games, or assisted, by the way. But nobody else is doing anything. Nunes, we know, Diaz. So this notion is of Liverpool. Are they gonna fall? I don't know the answer, by the way. I actually don't know.
Sorry, I don't know who you wanted to go.
Anyone, guys?
Oh,
anyone
okay,
can take it. I don't
look. I think it's the same as anything. Listen, are Liverpool the final product? I don't think they are now. I mean, look, they've just completely rearranged their entire midfield, and their midfield for so many years was dead set on what it was. Right, for 3 or 4 years, maybe 5 years, it was Henderson, it was Fabinho, it was Thiago Alcantara, or one of the others when he was injured. You knew what it was. It functioned well. It worked well. Now, I think that they've completely changed that. From the front three has completely changed from what was the kind of scary Liverpool team. So, look, they're very much in a period of, I don't think they're quite ready. But what they are is still better than 95% of the teams in the league. So when you say, do I think they'll drop off? I don't, because I think there's enough poor teams in the league that even when they're not playing well, they will win these games. Have they got enough to beat the big teams? Well, who have they played big-wise this season? They've played...
Everyone.
They've played... Okay, so they played Man City, didn't win. They played...
but they played Man City away, though. Which not a lot of teams get a point.
I agree with you. But then Man United comes to their ground and they didn't capitalise. So I think Liverpool, there or thereabouts, I think they're a year off. Only for me, whenever I'm on a football chat, I can only say my opinion. I think they're a year off me sitting there and going, oh, do you know what? I really, really fancy this Liverpool team here. I think the green shoots are there. But I think very much when you watch their midfield play, you can see it's a work in progress. And for me, I think they're going to fall just short. I do think everyone's overreacting, by the way. But, sorry, last bit. This weekend's going to be massive, right? This weekend's going to be massive because I think if they play the way they did against Man United, I think Arsenal beat them. But equally, Liverpool can put their stamp on it by beating Arsenal. Right? And normally Anfield, no one wants to go. Let's be fair. Who wants to play? No one wants to go and play a Liverpool at Anfield. So really big game.
Except Onana, apparently. Except
Onana. But no, you know what I mean? This is a massive game, not only for Liverpool and Arsenal against each other, but for the title race. Because again, if you guys draw, City again are going to be going like that. So even Aston Villa, who got Sheffield United this weekend. So big game. I do think they're going overboard about it, like you said, Mo. I do think everyone's looking to beat every team up after every game.
For sure. Like I don't think Villa are gonna last. I think Emery's doing a great job so far, but I think they'll drop off, maybe even finish 5th this season. Let's see. But in terms of Liverpool, at the end of the quad chasing season, I made a statement. I said Jurgen Klopp will never win another Premier League title with Liverpool. And all the Liverpool fans, they laughed at me. And then obviously they went and had the season that they had last season. But at the end of the day, he's still Jurgen Klopp. He's won championship. He's won big trophies at 2 different clubs. So he's got that DNA in him. And the way they've started this season proves that they can definitely challenge. Can they go all the way? As Klopp's still there, personally, I don't believe they can go all the way. I believe they'll be in the title race to the end, but I don't think they'll get it done. And the reason I think that is because so far, I think they're correct me if I'm wrong, are they the second best defense in the league right now? Behind
who's that?
Are they third? Liverpool. Are they second or third best?
I'll have a look. 1 second. I'll have a look at the table.
Yeah, but and that's kind of this. It's kind of
best.
They're the best
With Arsenal.
Well, defense.
We've conceded less goals.
You've both conceded 15. You've both conceded 15. Liverpool and Arsenal. Yeah.
And they scored 1 goal more than you, so they're a better team.
For sure. The stats say it. If Will was here, he'd say yes.
No,
so
people would say that.
We'll go
Where's
with
Will?
that.
Sure.
And then you see Arsenal fans,
right?
I see Arsenal fans saying, "But we have 1 point more, so we're better than you."
This
season
it's crazy.
is
Like
the definition of a table line.
Kunle, you know the point you just
100%,
made there about Klopp. I mean, this is really interesting. The point you made about Klopp not winning another trophy, because again, this is the difference.
I said Premier League, not trophy. Premier League.
Sorry, Premier League. Premier League. Yeah, sorry. Will Stewart, love it. I will love you, man. This is the difference for me. When you get managers that are multiple winning managers. Now, what I mean by that is Alex Ferguson, for example, won the league with this team, broke that team down, then built this team, then built that down, then built this team. Pep Guardiola's done it multiple times already with this Man City lot. Klopp had that team that worked. Listen, built that team brilliantly. No one can knock him for that. Building one team, great. When that team then drifts away, can you then build another one? That's the difference.
Dortmund have proven that he couldn't at Dortmand, and Liverpool so far we don't know. Yeah.
Right. So, and I'm not knocking Klopp. He's an excellent manager. But
exactly.
if we're gonna talk about levels, if we're gonna talk about elite, it is difficult to replicate something you've already done once and keep the hunger and the determination.
For sure. And Savva, and just the Liverpool fans, I know you're getting excited saying, "Oh, he's better than Arteta." I know you're going to be spamming the chat and that. I'm not saying he's a bad coach. I still think he can go to Spain, Italy, and win Champions League and league titles there. He might even go into another club in the Premier League and do it. I just think at Liverpool specifically, as Savva said, we've not seen him build 2 championship winning sides yet anywhere. So I just until he does it, I'm gonna, just like others, I'm gonna doubt it.
So we're okay to
are they entitled?
Oh,
Mo. You're right to doubt Arteta because he hasn't done it.
Yeah, exactly. Of course. I've said that.
I just wanted to clarify.
No, you don't need to. I've said it on many occasions. I've even said it to him personally. You have the right to not believe Arsenal can do it until we show we can do it. Of course you do. But I play this game week by week. I don't like to talk about winning the league yet. I want to play it week by week.
There's nothing to say that Klopp can't, though. By the way, I think that's the important thing. I'm not sitting here saying he can't
for sure, but I'm just putting my neck on the line with that one.
I agree. But do you know what? Sometimes, and I always say this, right, with individual players, with managers, with teams. Sometimes it's right time, right place, right system, right manager. Right. It's why, and I did this on my show earlier. It's why when we're talking about centre forwards, some centre forwards go to a club, can't hit a barn door. They get a move, they can't stop scoring because it's the players they're with, it's the manager, it's the time. Are they happy in their life? Have they settled down with their wife? They've now got their kid. Do you know what I mean? All of these things change. But was it the perfect storm for Klopp, or Can he recreate that storm? Because the thing is, if you look at the first team that Pep Guardiola won the league with Man City, then look at the league that won it last year. So I believe they were 5 years apart. I'm guessing, I haven't got it in front, I'm guessing there'll be very different teams. Right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Can you keep doing it? Ancelotti's done it over his career. Yeah. The greats do it in their career. They can keep building. Jose did it. You've got to be able to keep building winning teams. And Klopp, we'll see.
Did Jose do it, really? Did Jose do it?
I mean,
yeah, of course.
Jose's gone and built teams everywhere he's been. And then
you meant, no, I mean, like...
Actually, Jose did it 4 times.
No, I meant in terms of doing it twice at the same place and rebuilding a team. I don't think
Jose hasn't, because Jose threw a tantrum after winning all the time. In every club, he
wants destruction before he leaves anywhere.
Antonio Conte, by the way, fixed Chelsea and then threw a tantrum. Fixed Inter, threw a tantrum. Even at Juventus, he threw a tantrum. He's always like this, Antonio Conte. At Spurs, he couldn't fix it, but that's for a different day.
He's not a miracle worker. He's not a miracle.
He is. That's the thing about it. Antonio Conte is. He took Juventus, rebuilt them. Inter.
He's battling with history there as well, bro. It's not just
for some reason he just couldn't rebuild Spurs, and I want
to battling with more than the players, bro. He's battling with history, bro. It's not just players, bro. Come on, cut him some slack,
like
man.
that. Like he came to Chelsea. Chelsea were 10th, and he won the league.
But context around that is Chelsea had a very good team that was massively underperforming that year. It's not like I think 10th was a false economy as to the players that they had. I'm not knocking the job he did, by the way. I'm not knocking the job he did, but there are some managers.
Now I hear you, because 2 years ago they won the league, that squad. So I hear what you're saying.
Right? Yeah. So but look, I think to bring this back, Liverpool are a good team. Liverpool fall into that bracket for me this year of not playing that well in a lot of games, but having Fulham was a great example. Fulham were 3-2 up with I believe it was like the 89th, 90th minute.
They win that game they should have won that game, to be fair, but obviously Liverpool did their thing, man.
But this is what I mean. I think there's so many weak teams in the Premier League now that Liverpool, that Arsenal, that Villa, that Man City, they will more often than not, even if they play bad, will come away with the win. So I think more than ever, it's going to be about what these top teams do against each other.
What about you, Spurs? Just the last point of the show. 1 point behind Manchester City.
Yeah.
Without your best players.
Yeah.
What is stopping you from pushing Man City down and getting top 4?
Tell us, Savva, what's stopping you? The mighty Spurs. Go on. Let us know. Live on
without your best players.
Judge Mo.
If I have to talk about Spurs one more time in this situation, it just gets me so much hate. Look. What's stopping us is, I think they've got another gear to go to. We've seen that previously, that they can go into the market and we know they're going to buy top players. They've been there, seen it, done it before. We haven't. What's stopping us is, I think, that 5-game sample size for Spurs showed you everything you need to know. We had that 10 games where we didn't lose, and I think everyone just got slightly carried away. Then we had that 5 games where you would have said, you've got to beat Wolves, didn't. Got to beat West Ham, didn't. Got to beat Villa, who aren't very good away at that point. Didn't. So I think it showed me that I think Spurs are a very good team, but that's where I'll leave it. I think we're a very good team that need time to progress. I think, I saw Percioni the other week talking to you, Mo, saying that what other fans might think about Spurs is not my issue. It's not my problem. At the moment, I'm just happy with the direction we're going in from where we were, because under Conte, it was horrible. It was like watching this Ten Hag Man United team. When you look at them and you go, you've got no direction, there's no football being played, but scraping a few wins. That was Spurs under Conte. And listen, we'll see. As long as we keep improving, I'm happy.
Do you believe Spurs will get to the point where they finally get it over the line? With Ange.
Get what over the line?
Like win trophies, like win a cup, start winning, maybe really challenge for the Premier League.
Look, I mean, in terms of winning cups, I would love to think so. I would love to think, not this year. I think we threw away a massive opportunity with what we did this year in the League Cup. But cups are subjective, right? Cups are, I hear this all the time from within my fan base, and I'm sure you do, Kunle, in your fan base, and you will in your fan base, Mo. You hear things like, this is our best opportunity to win a cup this year. This is Spurs have to win the cup this year. And I always say to myself, okay, that's cool. But we're as a fan base going, right, we've not won a trophy for 15, 16 years. This is our year to win the FA Cup. Man City are still about. Arsenal are still about. Liverpool, Villa, Newcastle, Man United. All of these teams will be saying to themselves, if we have a good cup run, we can win the cup. So, look, do I think he can win a trophy? I do think he can win a trophy. I'm not putting a timeline on it, but I'd like to think in the next 2-3 years we can win a trophy. Will it be the Premier League? That for me isn't down to Postecoglou. That is down to the hierarchy and how much they want to back this guy the closer we get.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see. Listen, people, this has been absolutely a great show. Still almost 500 people here, so get us at least to 200, 250 likes. It's easy. It doesn't cost you a penny. Hitting the like button underneath the live chat doesn't cost you a penny. Football Heritage TV, Tunnel TV are in the description. Give them, please, a subscription. It's easy. It doesn't cost you as well, but it helps their channel. Brilliant content creators, daily content for you, always daily content. Turn on the notification bell for myself to know when I go live. Of course, stay on the stream. Don't go anywhere. It will take you to This is Football with Hussam, where he has a panel. I'll be on that panel after I finish something. So please stay on the stream. Don't go anywhere. Savva, glad to have you back. Absolutely brilliant stream. Thank you so much for being
Enjoyed
here.
it.
Kunle, absolutely brilliant having you. Great discussion. We learned a lot from you guys. So thank you guys for being here with us. Absolutely enjoyed the stream. Stay guys here. Don't go anywhere. And give the guys a subscription from the description. Their channels are just a click away from your subscription. And thank you guys. And thanks for everybody that supported the channel. And we'll see you guys soon. And we are out.